Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Tuesday, October 31st, 2023. Hello, here's Ollie. I've got Mr. Cat behind me. Happy Halloween. I am in my, supposedly, red panda kigurumi today, because it is, of course, Halloween. It is Halloween. Hello. Welcome. I used my 3D printer and I printed out a little jack-o'-lantern today. Just a little one that I designed in FreeCAD. I made this design. This is mine. I did this one and I made it bigger so it could actually print. Just a little thing to have somewhere. Somewheres. Can I fit it up here? Sort of. And it's gone. And it's gone. And it's gone back behind. I'm not gonna keep reaching for it. Hello, Mr. Cat. You're grooming. He's grooming. He's behind me. Behind me now, grooming. Well, what's gone on since the last time we met on Sunday? I carved a couple pumpkins yesterday. That was like the main thing-ish that I got done yesterday. Just primarily carving pumpkins. We've got Twitch is gonna do its ads within the next 3 minutes, so prepare for that. Okay. Yeah, I carved pumpkins. I've got pictures on my Discord. If you would like to join my Discord server, you can see my pumpkins that I carved. Just simple designs this year, really. Just stuff that I could do quickly. I wasn't really feeling particularly into it this year for Halloween. It's just like whatever is my feelings this year in particular. So I just went easy for my pumpkin patterns that I carved. I got the pumpkin patterns off of a website called thepumpkinlady.com. That's where I usually get the patterns for the pumpkins that I carve. So I just got 2 of them. One is a scaredy cat, and the other one is a little flying demon thing, big fat demon flying through the air over a graveyard. And that one was a little bit more difficult, but not that bad. I mean, it's still pretty easy. I think it was just like 9-ish cuts, 9-ish like pieces to push out, versus the scaredy cat, which was just one big punch out, one big cut all the way around the whole outline. I've done more complex ones than that in the past, but I just, as I said, I wasn't really feeling too into it. Didn't want to take too much time to do it. I finished both of those within an hour from start to finish, so yeah. Anyway, so we've had days that were in the 80s Fahrenheit for the past like week or so, and then today for Halloween, just special for Halloween, we have 50s, cooler day today, and rain. And it's going to be consistent rain during the hours of 6 to 8, aka during the trick-or-treater time. It will be consistent rain. It will be actually raining. So it's like, oh great, just in time for Halloween, we get rain. That's wonderful. So, game, is there anything else to really talk about? I'm trying to remember. off the top of my head. I don't think so. We can just do the game, I think. I didn't let the game run too much between streams. I was a bit focused on other stuff over this past few days. I was doing some other things, not too awfully much. I did more 3D printing of items that I need to get pictures of, colors of items I need to get pictures of, and I need to still print different colors, but I just haven't felt like changing off of my black filament at the moment to go back to blue or to go to red for some of these, because I have 20 slot versions of two of my different tray holders for the Game Boy and for the Game Gear now, and I need to get pictures for Game Gear, and I have to print the red and the blue of both of them to get those pictures posted. So yeah, there's some 3D printing work to do, and I had to change the nozzle on my 3D printer yesterday. That's the thing that I did. I was having issues that I could not seem to fix otherwise until I noticed, or sort of had an inclination, that the nozzle that was on there wasn't actually extruding at the thickness that it was supposed to be extruding. It was not extruding. It was thinner than expected. So there was something going on with that nozzle, so I switched it out, and then everything was perfect, like magic. Just by switching out to a new nozzle. Everything magically returned to normal. I actually got the first layer to be perfect on the prints I was trying to print. Thanks to that, so yay. Woohoo. At least nozzles are super, super cheap. And I have a few of them, quite a few of them at the moment, of the 0.4 millimeter nozzles. Anyways, what did I do between streams, and what did we do last time? Last time that we met, I did something. Yes, I did something. I set up advanced small parts. I'm not even using them quite yet, but I set up advanced small parts. That's what we did. That was the goal last time, was to get existent amounts of advanced small parts, and so we did. Then I moved on, and we began the process of doing some other stuffs, making plans. We built trits. I forget where I built the trits. Here. We worked on building the trit factory for photophores, primarily. And I need to actually go over here now, because there are some buildings that still need their modules on them. So I will go and do that. And since I'm seeing that, hey, there's 92 of them over here, I need to finish up this factory. And we are going to set up the trit slaughtering today for their photophores. And their other parts, but we want the photophores for now. Okay. Once we get this part done, we will have the photophores. That's one of the ingredients needed to get into our circuit 2s, but specifically for our optical fiber. And we're going to work on optical fiber. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're going to work on getting into optical fiber, but we're going to need to make a lot of factories. Quite a few factories, and we need this tech to finish. Am I streaming on both? Yes, I am streaming on both Twitch and on YouTube. I started that last stream. And we are going to be continuing this until the end of time. Or until Twitch changes their mind about allowing multi-streaming. Because this is a new development recently. Twitch announced that, hey, they're now allowing folks to stream to multiple platforms. For the key exception of those who very specifically have I hate that. Those who very specifically have dedicated exclusivity agreements, which you know if you are one of those people, because it would be a specific dedicated contract for exclusivity. So we're talking about folks who make the big bucks already. That only applies to them, not to the normal user. All right, so now that that's all set up, hi, Mr. Cat. You're comfy. Oh, my blanket fell down when I sat down. Apparently, this blanket hath fallen. Hey, you, hey, big boy, or did you knock it down? Did my boy knock down the blanket? Yes, big Ollie behind me. He's comfies. Mr. Comfy Cat. Okay, let's get these whales put onto my train network. Now that all the feedback looping is looped. And we can move on. All right. So as I was talking about here, we need a lot of different factories in order to get into the optical fiber, and we need this Faugi upgrade to finish, because I am absolutely going to take the tech for Faugi that's going to allow me to get acid gas from Faugi. That is the thing that will be taken. That is option 2. It also makes the buildings faster. But in order to do the upgrades of Faugi, the initial upgrades, you need to add codices into the mix to do your initial upgrades. So that's a thing. I don't know how you get to this point in the game without having already made an amount of Faugi. So this tech is, or this change to this tech is completely pointless, because you're only going to be able to get here through having Faugi, I think. Regardless though, extra speed is nice. Changing the raw coal to activated carbon is also somewhat useful, because that does save on some zinc, specifically to get into filtration media. It essentially makes filtration media a completely free thing, but it's just that acid gas is more useful overall, just in general. In my experience. So rather than make the buildings more expensive, rather than get additional output by adding purest nitrogen as an ingredient, we're just gonna take option 2 for this. Oh, there he goes. He's left me. Mr. Cat hath left me. Oh well. So once we get that, I'll be able to set up the nitrobenzene build, and then that gets used in the production of Kevlar. We'll need to set up nylon, dedicated nylon, before we can really get into the Kevlar. And with Kevlar bulk of this build, the terephthalate chloride, is just going to be a copy-paste from our other location where we make this aramid. Just going to be mostly a copy-paste from the aramid build. Cladded cores need to be put on their own as a separate factory because they get used for more than one thing. They get used in more than just the copper coating. Similarly, the copper coating also gets used more than once, and we have to figure out an organic solvent thing that we're going to do here. I would really like to do the acetone recipes because I have access to them. I would very much prefer organic solvent ammonia out of acetone syngas. It's just I wish I had this cumene recipe for phenol acetone. I wish I had this cumene-based recipe. But that doesn't come until chem science. Maybe. Yeah, here. Great. Great. Fantastic. Okay. What we'll do next is we will solder trits into photophores. I'm gonna eventually get everything onto trains to output everything, but for now it will probably just void everything else. The main thing here as I scale trits is I definitely want the lard output. These are the largest lard producer, or close to largest lard producer. They are the easiest way. I'm not going to say that they're the easiest way. They are a convenient way of getting lard at scale. That's how I'll word that, especially since you can convert brains to lard. And when you get Mukmo stage 1, you can convert bones to lard. Yeah, brains to lard is definitely a thing. And bones to lard will be a thing at Mukmo stage 1. Which is just a thing I can research now, basically. So, that is on the agenda. And this is my factory that I will be building right now, right here. Also define the source priority. And while we're oot and a boot, we can discuss these 4 things that I did between streams. These 4 are exactly what I said I was going to do. I got into cellulose in this initial build, which has, saline. We worked on this last time at the end of last stream. We worked towards this, and I just finished it between streams, and then used this 15 per second build for making cellulose as a baseline to build lignin, a build for lignin, which is just a little bit more scale on some of the parts that are already there, and then add in 30 whatevers multi-purpose crackers to convert the cellulose into lignin, adding sodium hydroxide and steam into the mix. So that is 30 lignin, stacked lignin. And then up here, it's copying the lignin and then converting 1-to-1 in destructive distillation columns into phenol. So this is 30 phenol per second stacked That is then stacked. And then next door is 900 aromatics through the same thing. It's just lignin, 30 lignin, and then 30 lignin into the 900 aromatics using all of the lignin. So now we have 900 aromatics per second production in one square. We have 30 phenol per second in a square, and 30 lignin in a square, and 15 cellulose in a square. Now, if I need more cellulose, I will have to copy the whole thing and paste it next door or anywhere else to add additional cellulose factories. That is until I redesign the whole thing for modules. Because these are all just temporary builds. I don't really foresee myself needing to copy paste these builds as they currently exist, because everything will change with modules sooner rather than later. We're actually at that point now that we are nearly 2,000 simulated hours into this save. We are going to soon get our stuffs going. Yes, nearly 2,000 hours. Whoops. Supply depot, full cargo, circuit ignition, go. Okay. That is that. And this is this. Okay, they finally arrived. Ideally, I would like to stack all the other outputs, but they're just going to go straight into void. And since these are aquatic creatures, we don't need to cage them, because at least at this point we don't need, like, fish bowls for stuff. set up my train. Fly. Depot, full cargo, circuit condition, and go. Oh, right. Okay, now just waiting for a stack. Finished stack. Looks like it just got it. Finished stack of the trits. I'm only making 0.1. Just so as we're clear, 0.1 per second. That's not much at all. I will need to scale it fairly considerably if I want more. So considerably that I would want to have the moondrop provided from the train network. The seeds are already being provided from the train network, but actually the reverse would be the case. I would want to do the wood more local on here in this location. It does sort of limit a little bit on the amount of total space available for the reefs, but it's fine. It will be fine because I have declared that it shall be fine when we scale that stuffs, especially when most of the scaling of the stuffs will happen after I have productivity modules. Of course, these things aren't going to take the productivity modules, but these will. This can. Not like that's the number one thing I would use for these, but, you know, getting more saline out would be useful. That would be useful at reducing the overall building count that I need. Especially, well, at Mark 1, it's a 10% bonus, right? So instead of being only 25, it'd be 27.5. That could be the difference between needing a set of these, needing a second one, and not needing a second one. YouTube ads are coming in the next minute that I can see. Twitch has like 27 minutes left for the next round. Okay, that being done for the photophores. I can see that we're at 61% at the moment. On our tech, we need this tech for the things that we're doing today. So we'll be holding off on those factories until we get this tech, because we need it for acid gas. Next up is nylon. We will be making nylon out of phenol. I could make more than one. I could make more than one. We'll make two. We'll make two. For now. For now. Two it shall be. Hello, Mr. Cat. He has come to rub my leg. Mr. Ollie, what are you doing? Over here, rubbing. Come up over here. Photophores. There they are. They exist. And all this is gonna be destroyed for now. I will, of course, do all the sorting and stacking, probably between streams, get it on to trains just to have it around. But the issue with that is I would then also overflow void the photophores so that I can guarantee that I have that minimum throughput of all that stuff. And that is perfectly acceptable way of doing things in a style of gameplay like this. Why, hello. Hello, Mr. Cat. We have camera. Hello, Mr. Cat. Can we get focus? It's a baby. Yes, it's a baby. Focus. There we go. It's my boy. Yes, my boy looking at me. He wants pets. Yes, he wants his rubbins. He wants the rubbins. Oh, feels so good. He wants the rubbins. Yes, Mr. Cat. Oh, you're gonna go comfies. Oh, yes, he's poking his head. Yes, I know. I feel that nosy. I feel that little wet nosy. Yes, big boy. What you doing? Mr. Cat? Mr. Ollie. How's my Ollie? Oh, he's pushing. He's a pusher. Nuzzles? Mr. Nuzzle Cat. He's a Nuzzle Cat. Yes, he's a Nuzzle Cat. There we go. Mr. Nuzzle Cat. We need blood in this build. Plus extra. So we need blood, we need chromium, we need phenol, and we need fiberboard. Okay. Unstack that one. Bring on the blood. Bring on the fiberboard. Bring on the phenol stacks. And bring on the chromium. There we go. Stuff and things. And stuff and things. Ah, right. We build this way. And up. This way and uppies. I now have the technology to build better power poles, and I just did not do so. I will need to do so. I will need to remember to do so at some point. I have the ability to build the Nexalit power poles, which have, you know, just they're better medium power poles. They have bigger range and they have longer wire length on them. There's no reason to go back to using mediums once you have Nexalit. Like, actually no reason. Alright, and if I have a few more items in my inventory than I usually do, it's because I had to increase all my requests. Because, yeah, building the the lignin into phenol and the lignin itself and the cellulose one and the aromatics from lignin. Yes, all of these. Building 4 of these in total uses a lot of resources. Heck, even each one uses a lot of resources. I had to restock more than one time. More than one time. Also, you'll notice I have blue inserters now. Because I realized the only reason why my base was not producing blue inserters at this point was because I wasn't importing any vitriol to the mall. So I was like, okay, we're going to do that thing now. And start making the blues. And eventually I saw, oh, I have a few. I have a box. An entire box of the blue inserters, 2,000 inserters. I was like, okay, now is the time. Now is the time to switch from yellows to blues. So any time I would have otherwise used a yellow, I will now use a blue. They have a stack size of 2, and they're like twice as fast as the yellows, so I will think of these as being able to move like 4.8 items per second. Approximately. That's how I'll think of it anyway. Ah, right, I also need 120 steam. So let's copy steam. Copy 3 steam. Down. There. Ta-da! Steamy! So this produces 150 steam total, which is exactly what I want. Well, it's a little more than what I want, but it's what I need. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Of course, you have 2 belts of inputs on a system where you have to have them be next to each other. Now, in most cases, I will not need to use the blues, or I will choose not to use the blue fast inserters here. Because when I need that much throughput, chances are it's really more of a situation where loaders would be better. So I'll tend to use loaders rather than the inserters. The key exception to that is the mall, which actually I think I'm going to run an upgrade planner, upgrading from yellows to blues in all of this area. And it should just be telling me about a lack of robots. Lack of Constructobots, because I only have 770 of them, and I think I've replaced more than that. I have 721 Constructobots, and I have, yeah, I I need more than that. So apparently it's upgrading some pipes. Oh well. That's fine too. I'll take that too. That should help a bit with throughput of stuffs and things in the mall. I totally didn't actually finish that factory. I'm just autopiloting. We need to, you know, finish factories. That would be great. S-nylon. D-nylon. Autosave is autosaving. One of the few things I am looking forward to with the update and the expansion is the ability to remotely open up these things so I can do these adjustments. That would be great. That would be great. Being able to do the limit stuff remotely will be fantastic. I'm going to assume that that's going to be possible because of these changes that they'll be doing. That's like the one good thing that I can say is good universally is just remote activation or opening of assembling machines and chests. So you can like change the logistic requests of requester chests remotely. That's going to be coming with the update with the expansion. And that's like the only thing I'm looking forward to at this point. It's like the stuff from that Friday facts, that those updates, that's like the only thing at this point. And maybe expansion content specific elevated rail. But even that's not required. That's like cherry on top. That's like not an essential thing, but very nice to have. Which is fine for expansion content. Adding in features that are not essential but nice to have is something to expect from expansion content. That part is fine. It remains to be seen whether or not the remainder of the content, like any of the space stuff, is going to be worth the cost of admission at this point, because, you know, things I've brought up multiple times thus far, and last stream when I discussed the most recent Friday facts, it seems like at this moment in time, the way that they're presenting this content is that the developers very specifically are limiting how you can play their game, which is completely opposite the way that the base game is designed. I am not a fan of the systems that they are introducing that are going to absolutely limit how people play the game to very specific ways, such as by limiting you to only having the one building on each planet to accept items from the interplanetary logistics system. Like, even just logically speaking, that is so dumb, because if you can launch a rocket into space, if you can build a space platform that can travel to space, I should darn well be able to land wherever I feel like landing. And it's not like that logistics is free either, since you have to literally launch rockets into space to get it up there in the first place. So we're talking about a logistics system that is both expensive as well as extremely limited to only one place to receive items on each planet. And you're going to make everyone build around having that one receiver station. Like, no. And then the other mechanic that is like this, that's going to be forcing how people play the game, is the change to the tech tree, where they're going to be adding like little missions on the tech tree that you have to complete in order to even research your next technology. I can see how that would be fine for a new player. That might be better as a guide for new players, but that is really bad for people who actually know what they're doing. That forces everyone, regardless of skill level, to follow an exact procedure every single time they play the game, which is completely opposite to how the game is designed. How it was billed to us, how it was advertised to us, and how it's been from the beginning. I'm not a fan of that feature as it's been applied into the vanilla game. It will most definitely force people. It will definitely reduce replayability, and I'm not a fan of features that reduce replayability in the game. So yeah. That's what I see these things doing, and the expansion in general is a whole bunch of features that, when added to the game, are going to reduce replayability of the game. And I'm not standing for it. Anyway, stuff, things, more. Kevlar time! Well, I need the nitrobenzene, and we haven't done the nitrobenzene yet, and we have to get this tech that we're 66% of the way on in order to get the nitrobenzene. But we sort of need the Kevlar soon. We're running out of time. I mean, technically, I don't need the Kevlar until I do the optical fiber factory, because Kevlar coating is only used for iron niobium coating, and iron niobium coating is only used for optical fiber. Alright, I make this in my mall. I need to set this up somewhere else, so we'll do that there, local, as supposes. We cannot do the clouded cores as well until we also have nitrobenzene. So we're sort of stuck now, having to build factories that require the nitrobenzene, so they won't run until I get nitrobenzene, but we can still at least build them. Okay, this is going to be a fairly large factory, it looks like, and I need the chromite sand. Right, I was going to do... I was going to do a chromite sand factory. Just producing chromite sand. Where's chromium? There. What do I make it out of? Meat? Oh, that's fine. That's 45 chromite sand. Wow, I can just copy my chromium build and have, like, infinite chromite sand. Okay, sure. Where is this happening? Where is my... Here, I can actually just do... here. Stations. Depot. Chromium, yes. Clear skies of peace, please. I can just copy the build. Ugh. Arg, arg. I want it below. Get rid of all this shenaniganery. I should just have a... Right. I can do that. Yeah. I'm going to add a deconstruction planner that gets rid of ghosts, entity ghosts, items on ground, and tile ghosts. Just the ghost destroyer, the ghost busters. Hey, can I, like, name? Can I name? Yes, this is the ghost busters. I don't need this part at all. Or this. I don't need the sand castings. So whichever one is sand castings. I'm not sure. I think it's this first one. Yeah, don't need the first one. I need the wood, I need the meat. Yes, I need wood, I need meat. I don't need sand castings. I just need chromite sand, and the chromite sand is going to be stacked. That will be that for a grand total of 6.5 meat and 1 wood per second. I'll have 45 chromite sand available. And that is so much for so cheap that it really does make acetone from chromite sand at least somewhat bearable, especially when copper is also meat and guts. Like, that acetone recipe is actually okay. Although it does also use a little lead, and that can be a little problematic, at least until we get a different, better way of getting into the, what is it, ethylene? Propene, what is it? What is it? It's one of those things. Where are you? Propene. Propene. That's the one. It needs lead. On adapropene. I'm repeating myself here, aren't I, for the copper coating. I'm going to do an organic solvent factory, producing it out of acetone, and doing this segment of steps in a separate factory. And of course, I will also produce put the ammonia on the train network as well. So 100 acetone is going to cost this. That's 10 chromite for plates, and ooh, that's a lot of lead actually. That's actually a lot of lead. The gas bladders will be better for propene, and of course productivity will be better over time, but whatever. We'll live with it. For now, I just need to build this to get the chromite sand online. And then we'll worry about other things as we go. Ads are starting soon on Twitch. Or so it says. At some point. There we go. That will be that. That needs to be renamed. These need to be renamed. I'll also note that I will need gold to get into modules at some point. But we do have the ability to get into as much soot as we want to get into gold, so that is actually going to be the easy part. That is the actual easy part. Right, meat and wood stacks. And locoist of locomotive. Chromite sand, dechromite sand, full cargo, circuit condition, go, define, stacked chromite sand, and there we have it. That, as they say, is that. Let us continue. And turn off the clear skies of peace because, you know, performance. Game performance is nice to have. Do I have wet scrubbers? No. Let's get some then. And this is supposed to be a red panda. Just so as we're aware, this is supposed to be red panda, even though it's tan. Even though it be like brown, gray, it is supposed to be red panda. Supposedly. Not sure they quite understand what red pandas look like. At the place that I got this from. Unfortunately, that place doesn't exist anymore, not on its own. Anyway, got bought by GameStop. It was thinkgeek.com. Is where I got this red panda kigurumi. But yeah, it got bought by GameStop. So it basically died. Any huzzles? Bots bring me things, please. And just as a reminder, since I am now streaming on Twitch as well as on YouTube, for those of you watching on Twitch, I do have some stream incentives that I'm running, 2 of them every stream. One is during the stream, if I receive support equal to $10 US or equivalent over the course of the stream through any method of support, then I will stream for an extra hour during the stream. So that's one incentive. For those who are on Twitch, that means that if you use your Twitch Prime sub, that will count as $5 towards that goal, towards that incentive. Even though, yes, it's not actually 5, but that's another topic entirely. Oh yes, I only see half of it, but if you were to pay for it, you would have paid 5. But you bought your Prime subscription, but Amazon is ultimately the one in control of all the money, so Amazon's only really pulling out the 2.5 from that Prime subscription to pay the person that you Prime sub to. So for them, it's only 2.5 that they lose from your subscription fees that you pay whenever you do a Prime sub. Even though you would have paid $4.99. It's like, to them, that it's not a thing that comes into play. Okay, where are we going to build this now? Because this is a little lead expensive. Right across from lead ore. That sounds like a great idea. Let's do it. Right across from lead ore. In grand scheme, this is not a lot of organic solvent, but it is one of the better ways of getting into the organic solvent. Ultimately, acetone will be better off through phenol and not through this process, and that will fundamentally remove this lead requirement and the copper and the chromite, but whatever, those are free for all intents and purposes, and that really makes this extraordinarily viable in the next order of magnitude for thousands per second of throughput. Which is why I did that in my previous series. That is how I got organic solvent primarily for the whole base, was through that acetone recipe, through getting it out of cumene. Though it will cost titanium tetrachloride to do that, and it involves distillation. Because we're not going to do phosphoric acid cumene. That's not going to happen. Oh, I already have this recipe to get into cumene. The thing is, you don't get any of the recipes for it. And we're not going to do arthropod blood solvent. That's not going to happen. Yeah, this recipe only unlocks at the next tech level, unfortunately. Once we get this, though, it'll be fantastic. Fantabulous stuffs. Converting 1 to 2. 1 to 2 into acetone. Ah, boy. So 100 strip distillates would make 400 acetone. Which, you know, in turn would make 400 organic solvent. 1 to 1. And 200 ammonia. The issue is the strip distillates, though, because recently, quote unquote, it's around recent, since I did my previous series, I'm pretty sure it was since then, Pi changed the distillation recipes for for crude oil and tar. So now it's like you can only ever do the tar based distillation with coke oven gas. You have to spend coke oven gas now on it, when previously for the crude oil and the tar you had recipes that did and did not use the coke oven gas for the both of them. And so what would end up happening is that no one would use the coke oven gas for very obvious reasons. And Pi gets upset about people not using the recipes, and he changes it so that you have to use the recipes. Because he's a bit petty that way. In that respect. Like, oh yes, I see that no one's using this recipe that I made. Here, let's get rid of this other recipe that people are using so that they have to use this other harder recipe. Instead of actually taking the hint that maybe that harder recipe shouldn't exist in its current form. Or, you know, actually make it worth using. Two much better options than removing something. I only need 3 solids, right? Just the chromite, copper, and lead. Time for, gosh, 7. 7 of this. Well, I've got 6 here. Just offset in there. 7. There we go with 7. It's been a bit of a slower day today, in actuality. From what I've noticed, not as many people around. It must be because of, you know, it being Halloween. Everyone's got their plans. And you know, it's a weekday. That's another factor. Like, oh yes, weekday. That's a thing. But I would still usually expect a few more people. Regardless though. We're gonna keep on moving. I still haven't set up those next lit power poles. Oops. Alright, lead. This is such low values that I'm tempted to not ammonia here. Not supply the ammonia here. But I will anyway. come on. I did search. Lead. Okay. That's the propene. Next is... I'm gonna add the space in between. I like how this looks. I like the idea of having it, because it's one-to-one like this, just direct insert on the stuffs. It's 20 and 20. But the unfortunate part is that it will limit the input on this side. But fortunately, since this is only producing a fluid output, it actually makes it pretty easy to do the inputs on both sides. Okay. Hook up the propene. And import the doohickeys. Really? Alright, might need more copper. Might need more copper soon-ish. Oh boy. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is just dealing with fluids. Okay, that's the organic solvent. That's the ammonia. Overflow, void, and overflow, void. Yes, the ammonia voids and gas vents. Because this is apparently gaseous ammonia, and not aqueous. Here I am leaving, but that's fine. For these guys, just want to make sure I don't get too far away before putting the wood in. Oh boy, that takes a while to get here. That's a bit of a mission, huh? I mean, it's from here to here. And yet the copper got here faster. Alright, sure. Alright, that's organic solvent. Done. Nitro is waiting on this to finish. Though that might be where I import ammonia, we'll see. Alright, Kevlar can now ignore this. And this, and this, and this. Yeah, that'll be that. Ay, ay, ay. I wish it was done, but then I see this is required. Oh, boy. Boogers. Oh, boogers. Booger, 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 boogers. Okay, that's the build. That's the build, then. That is the whole of the build, then. At least I have the rare earth ore. At least I have the rare earth ore, 2 cobalt extract. My goodness. And again, a lot of this is copy-pasted from the Aramid build. So I just need a big spot for factory. For train station, really. big train station location. We'll do this here. Remember that I am trying to build right and above, like more often, so that I am centering my mall area around the base, so that the base sort of grows concentrically, ideally. I've gone a bit too far left and a bit too far down, so now I'm trying to focus more on the right and then up. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Even with my best of intentions. Ah, okay. How are things looking? Things seem okay on both sides. I see today that I actually am not having any issues whatsoever with buffering on YouTube, which is great. Last time we were here, for whatever reason, YouTube just kept on buffering on me, even though I didn't really have drop frames. I see I actually have 36 drop frames today. I don't know when that happened. No idea when that happened, but apparently I actually did have genuine drop frames. Really? Really? I know that between last time and this time, I did have to restart my modem. I had to do that yesterday morning-ish because the internet, like, died, and the modem didn't indicate that it was disconnected from the internet, even though it was. It still had its, like, white light saying that everything is A-okay, even though everything was not A-okay. And it didn't return to being at least somewhat okay until after I unplugged and replugged the modem in. Only after it did all of its self-tests. Like, can I just say that there is zero reason that modems need to spend 10 minutes turning on? There is no legitimately good reason for these devices to take that long to turn on and to work. Anyway, eventually I will not have this ISP. We will be changing our internet provider eventually. Eventually. The problem that's come up is, well, the company decided to no longer have their maps anymore, which is a little odd that they're not doing that. I guess they just decided that they weren't going to spend the time updating their maps anymore to give people an idea as to when they're going to be expanding into your area. And like which areas are finished versus not finished. You know, that would be good information to have. So we're getting MetroNet in the city, and they are building their services, their fiber services through the city. It's just that that my specific neighborhood is not slated in the initial rounds, plural. It's for later building. So I need to copy all of that. So that covers that step, that. I need the chlorine after. I need the stuff there. I need this. That covers those steps. Going back to the aramid. I do have the compressor. I need that. So I'll put the compressor up there. Anything else? There's the chlorine. Or that's chlorine and steam, and yes, I do need chlorine and steam. I do not need biomass stuffs. And I just have to remember what's gonna be what here. What belt is what input. I apparently do need more than what I've built here in this particular build. So rather than this, which does 25, I will need 3 more of it for 100. Let's do that. And then I'll need an extra electrolyzer. I think some more buildings on the urea into ammonia, maybe. I think I need to add just a couple extra buildings here and there. And that will fully cover it. Oh yeah, I mentioned a little while ago, I talked about the incentives for the stream. I talked about how, hey, to $10 of any amount of support, of like any support throughout the stream in total will be 1 extra hour of streaming. I never mentioned the second incentive. The second incentive is just over the course of the month. If we get to $500 of total support over the course of the month, I will spend 6 days a week on average streaming. In the following month, I will add Monday, Wednesday, Friday streams for the month, with the exception of major holidays. Of course. We're not going to have that happen for the month of November. That is exceedingly unlikely unless some person were to just drop 350 at least. I actually haven't done the math completely as to how much has been provided versus the total at this point. It's a little bit more difficult to calculate the math because I'm doing it for before fees. So it's like I'd have to go through each member on YouTube. I'd have to calculate the subs, the 1 sub on Twitch. So it's like I have to add 5 for the Twitch sub that I have, as well as any chats and tips and other stuff, and Patreon, of course. I'd have to add that too. But I'm pretty sure it's about 350 that's left on that incentive or so. As I've said, I don't expect it to be met at all, like ever, but weirder things have happened, actually. Stranger things have happened on my channel. And of course, anyone who does that would be permanently added to my list, my starting soon list, because they would absolutely qualify as a bearer of massive ball bearings. The most massive of ball bearings. And that's for anyone who provides support of $100 or greater in one go, all at once. Where does the thingy go? Oh, it's the chlorine. I need the chlorine, not the boogers. Go away, go away. Oh, right. It has to go away. Interesting. Oh boy, that's my alarm to indicate that I am in fact now halfway through today's stream, meaning it is time to take a brief break. Yes, it is time for our regularly scheduled break at the approximate halfway point of the stream. So I will go ahead and do that, and when I return, we will continue working on this build for Kevlar. I will be back shortly. And I have returned. Welcome back, folks. By the way, this does have a tail. It has a ringtail that again, it's supposed to be red panda. It's supposed to be red panda, but it is most distinctively not red. It is in fact not actually red. It is supposed to be red panda. It was advertised as red panda. But no, this is brown. This is brown, not red. Anyway, things. We are working on getting into Kevlar. And the big part of getting into the Kevlar is actually setting up the terephthalate chloride for said Kevlar. Boo. I do need a bunch more of you. 6, 8, 12, 13, huh? Yeah, 13. 13 of these suckers are required on this base. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh. That's that, and then over here, bring on the gasolinis. The gaso-weenie. Yeah, and I need to void stuff. So I need voido line. Voido. We must voido. Voido do 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 do. One of these lines is wood, and I know is wood. It is either one of these. It does not actually matter which one of these. One of them's is wood. The other is a combined belt of meat and guts. This is gasolini. Gaso. Meat, wood, and guts. Guts will be first. Hello. Hello, cat. Hello, Mr. Ollie Cat. Pretty sure Dolly Cat is under my bed, as usual. Yes, you see. Sniff. Sniffies. Sniffies. What is it, huh? Who is it? You're actually looking at me now, and like, who the hell is this? Who the hell is this? I don't know this person. Who is this person? Who is this? Who's this? Huh? Who is it? Who is it? Who's this thing? What is this thing? What is this thing I'm wearing? Okay, wood stacks. Meat. Guts. Both are stacked and need to unstack. Meat. Wood. Whoop, not that wood. Wood. Stacks. Guts. Stacks. Really, I have a lot of requests for meat, so it does make sense that I don't actually have enough locomotives. Okay, next we need the nickel and rare earth ores, so that's the next 2 items in. I need a lot more stuff than just this. I am going to need 2 of these. So if this top one is that, then I'll also need to do this split. Oh goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. There we go. I only need 1 on the copper. Does this particular plan even break down the copper? Yes, and I do only need 1. So what are we gonna do after beat pi? Gee, I wonder. We are going to do probably a pi omni run, but we'll see. So hi, I'm wearing the thing. You told me to wear the thing. Twitch ads starting in a minute. 1 minute for Twitch ads. Yeah, you told me to wear the thing, so I'm wearing the thing. This is supposedly a red panda. I got this suit a long, long time ago. All right, Mr. Cat, you've gone up top on my chair. Hi. Okay. Ooh, okay. I need empty petri dishes and seaweed on a shared line, as well as those things. So it's like, okay, now I've seen the next like 5 solids here, because manure is one of those as well. Request rare earth ore at Kevlar. Request nickel ore at Kevlar. Request seaweed at Kevlar. Request empty petri at Kevlar. Request manure at Kevlar. Nickel ore. Seaweedies. Empty petri. Manure. Manure. The manure goes in there. Yotoi aloe. I need additional fluid input stations, because I know I need to bring in the stuffs and things. Two of things, actually. I need blood and I need the aromatics. We're going to use those aromatics I built on the train network in between streams. Aromas. And blood. Blood, blood, blood. Beautiful blood. First up is Gasso. Gasso. You're going over here. You're going up. Uppy uppies. All the uppies. To there. That makes the liquid nitrogen. Licky licky. So let's see, we do have cyanic going, we do have copper going. Once we get the seaweed in, that will be the manure bacteria. I need to get the manure bacteria brought down to the terephthalate chloride, along with the liquid nitrogen. There we go, and I have to get the aromatics over. And Yotoi brought in. This is the most complex part, I think, of the entire process for getting the optical fiber. Though nitrobenzene will also be somewhat complex. This is also very complex. So that just needs the Yotoi aloe fruit at this point, and that will be the TCl. Oh yes, I also need nitrobenzene. Right, I need that to be brought in for the PPD. Whatever. Whatever. Everything is fine. Everything is dandy. Wood. Then bring in blood. As I've mentioned, I do need another fluid for the nitrobenzene eventually. And I need a solid for the stuff's nylon. Oh, and I need the... and I need another one of the fluids for organic solvent. Great. Lots of fluid. Never did define organic solvent. And ammonia. Ammonia. This will be nitrobenzene. But it's not defined yet. Did I find nylon? Yes. Good. Bring that over and up. And over and up. Okay, that's ammonia. Let's get this guy placed. Chlorine. To there. Yep, that's where I need the chlorine. And nitrobenzene. Brought in from here. That just leaves the organic solvent coming up here. Kevlar. Bring in the PPD, terephthalate, and organic solvent. Terephthalate. Going down. Available there. And the nylon. All that for 1/2 of 1 Kevlar per second. Assuming I haven't made any major mistakes. Just add nitrobenzene and that should be Kevlar. Ta-da. Unfortunately, still sitting only at 71% on this tech. I was anticipating that this tech would finish within the time frame of the stream. But it would seem as if that might not happen. Which sucks. I'll have to build around that then. Like, ideally, I would have optical fiber today, but goodness. That's a lot of silver plates for this point in the game. Just gonna throw that idea, that concept out there. That's a lot of silver. A lot of silver. Way too much silver in actual reality. That's way too much silver for those clouded cores. So the rest of this is actually pretty simple to get the optical fiber outside of the nitrobenzene part of it. But even that's still pretty simple. It just needs the acid gas to get made locally. Which I could math out the upgraded recipe for the Faugi in terms of we need 200 acid gas. Well, that's 2.5 Faugi plus the amount I need for the sulfur. No. It's along those lines, though. So, little over 2 Faugi, little over 2 sulfur, plus the Faugi for it, so at least 4, 5-ish Faugi, I think, is what I'll ultimately need total to do the sulfur and the acid. Oh, right, I need desulfurizators. Oh, that might be an issue. That is an issue. That is the next tech. That is blue. Why did you put this in blue when it's a tier 1 building? There is nothing about this building that is required for tier 2 unlock. Nothing about this building screams tier 2 to me, or screams blue to me. This is not a post Circuit 2 building. Okay, well, plans change. And this is an instance where plans are changing. Because in reality, we cannot do this because the desulfurizator is required as part of that process to get the acid gas. What we can do only is refined syngas, acid gas, I think. I think that's the process I'll have to do for this, and there's no good way around that. Now, the refined syngas method I will do will also produce acid gas. What? What's used as an ingredient in here? Or what is a byproduct getting used as an ingredient? What do I need to unrestrict? Why can't it just do this math for me? Why is water not selectable? What is the matter? Syngas. Syngas gets made here. Canisters. Methanol. I need to make methanol. And I don't have the methanol plus syngas. Or blah, excuse me. Sorry, I'm thinking always wrong. Yes, I'm thinking this. I don't have methanol syngas out of biomass and excellent. That's a good one too. So I guess we're spending zinc and copper and more syngas. But it looks like this build actually makes enough syngas. Oddly enough, it looks like it actually makes enough syngas because it needs the tar. Still under 30 wood, so that's nice. And I can do this now? It's going to use a lot more wood than stated because of the Fawagi eating wood stacks. That's 2 wood stacks, which brings us to 37.8. All right, that means I'm going to build a full 75 at that point. There's no point in me doing 3 of the 15s when that 75, the size of the 75 is like equivalent. Fawagi. 136. Okay. So that's the build. Then. And we will do that now. Right the hell now. It will pretty much need to be a square. Ooh. That is not going to produce anywhere near enough throughput. So, nah. I need gas processing units. Am I making GPUs? I don't think so. I don't think we have GPUs. We do have GPUs. Okay, I will request a few of them. This will be our first use of GPUs. Which we'll need to make many more of them, or use many more of them in the process of getting into Circuit 2s. We are in our final hour, unless we get the first incentive met, the main incentive met for the day, to add an hour. But I think within this next hour, we should get into optical fiber. Don't see much reason why we wouldn't be able to do the clouded core, copper core, optical fiber, since they're very, very small builds outside of this nitrobenzene, which is going to be a lot of infrastructure, but not a massive amount of complexity, new complexity for this build. So it was like 3 additional factories, right? So plonk that, and I don't know, plonk a thing here, and that'll be all our factories. Do I have the GPUs? Yes, good. They keep bringing me like rails and things. Give me all of that. I have a few units of things. I'm also gonna need a bit of Fawagi. Just a smidgen on the nitrobenzene build. I am making the full 100, even though I don't need anywhere near the full 100. Like, I don't need 100 nitrobenzene for any of this. I only need, like, what? 15. I need 15 nitrobenzene. But if I'm going to go through the effort of this complexity, I may as well go full on. $75 wood. You will sit there. Then of that 75 wood, I need to convert an amount of it to do 333.3 tar into tailings. I also need some voiding here. Ooh, I'm not carrying canisters, am I? Oh, I'll have to restock with getting the canisters. Ugh. Erg arg. I never remember to carry around my empty thingies. Empty gas cans. Request those. I'll need to grab them. This is one of the more annoying things that Pi did. Or someone did. Separating out the recipes for tech time. Instead of making one better later, he chose to just make it so that you have to do the filled canisters and that the recipes that don't use the canisters unlock at a later tech level as your upgrade, so you don't have to do this complexity anymore. Woohoo. Let's have a process that's simpler, get unlocked at later tech levels. Okay. When most of the thing is designed around the idea of simple and slow evolving into complex and faster / higher output. Instead, we have this situation with this methanol here where we are, or this methanol into the refined syngas, where we have recipes that are more complex, that in higher tech levels you lose the complexity as your reward. It's like, isn't that like counter to like the point of a lot of the design for the rest of the mod? Isn't that like the opposite of the intent of the rest of the mod? I think so. I thought the point was the upgrades were to be better, not simpler, more complex, add complexity, and be better. No, what it really should be is that the initial recipes should not use the canisters, and then the unlocked recipes later should use the canisters and have increased output of refined syngas. By using the canisters, there should be something about using the canisters that makes it worth our while later in the game. Otherwise, it just becomes obsoleted by unlocking the recipe that does not use the gas canisters. Anyway, let's build. Let's get this part built, then set up the tar production. That's going to be, let's see, 10 gasifiers. Because I do this elsewhere, here, I need 2 of this. 2 of this segment. How do I want to set this up? Probably here. All right. This is the easy part. All this is the easy part. I do have to make a modification at the syngas gasifiers because they currently, or do they? No, actually they don't. They all do go into tanks for all of the syngas and all the tar, and it overflow voids already. So if I need to use the syngas, I can absolutely do so. It's nice. I don't have to actually import any of the syngas. We can just use it to make refined syngas into acid gas here. It is a shame that I was like, oh yeah, we're going to do this Falgate upgrade, and then I realized, oh wait, no, we can't actually do that until blue science, even though we can unlock it now. Unfortunately, unless the thingy unlocks desulfurizators, which I'm pretty sure the turd upgrade itself does not do that. For the Falgate, let's have a look. Do we unlock desulfurizators here? No, we don't. That would be a thing to do. Early unlock desulfurizator here, because this is totally a Pi 2 tech. And desulfurizators unlock at chem science. They should unlock at that turd upgrade. Frankly, if you pick that upgrade and it has a recipe that uses it, it should be available to you at that time. And there is precedent. They do this with other turd upgrades. In fact, they actually have an upgraded version of the thing. They give you earlier access to solar panels in one of the upgrades. Then it's a simpler recipe. And it actually advertises, hey, you can get simpler solar panels this way. At least Mark 1 solar panels anyway. Now, I should have enough resources to complete this build. Outside of, missing the canisters. This thing is just so huge. I really, really need productivity / modules in general. A little bit of a shame we don't have any module slots on the mechanical nurseries, though. Cough, hack, wheeze. But this has been a thing since around Pi Alien Life's release. At least since then. Oh, do I not? I don't have moss? Moss? Okay, I guess we'll need to stock up on moss as well. It took a long time, but I finally used up all my moss, it seems. You need to get power. So let's build this to power. Death to trees. All of the trees must die. And I need... Oh, frick, I forgot that I did that. Why? Infinite 4,000. There. Please don't. Logs. Logs! Wood into seeds. That starts everything going. Ooh. Ah, my back. Oh, my back. My back. Okay, I need to like come forward a little bit, change my positioning, because wearing this thing, I've got the big tail in the back, and it's sort of changing my posture. You Ollie, got my Ollie cat. Yes, the Ollie cat behind my head. He's comfy. He's a comfy kitty. He's a comfy kitty. Ah, now I am more comfortable. Okay. I'll just have to sit like this. Okay, I missed part of the copy. There. Do that over here too. And this pretty much clears, like, all that shenaniganery. I think that rather than the bringing in of blood and converting blood to ammonia, I might just bring in ammonia. We shall see. Because I do have 50 per second, technically. Really? What? Okay. What's with all the lacking of connections? Okay, where is Wood Inn? Wood Inn is here? Yes. And it needs to be unstacked. Wait, what? Oh. All right. That should be all I really need from there to make the syngas and the tar. Once everything up here, of course, gets moving. Cough, hack, wheeze. Okay, so I can do these two. Which is which? This is tar. This is syngas. All the tar is being quenched. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can. Vent, vent. Void. Fluid sep. Or, oh, it's centrifuges now? Freaking hell, why? I think I know why, but it just sucks. Because these use a lot more power. There used to be a way of getting, you know, pretty good power out of making benzene, but no, we can't have nice things. That is illegal. Having nice things is illegal around here. All it takes is for me to do something once, and then all of a sudden, oh hey, can't do that anymore. Oh good, that actually is useful. Oh. That is not actually useful anymore. Ooh, question. What voids aromatics? The sinkhole. The sinkhole, and not the vent. Not the gas vent. The sinkhole. Okay, power. Just add the tar and everything's great. Okay, so that covers those steps. Now I need... Oh yeah, I have to get rid of the soot. Always forget the soot. Void. That gets rid of the soot. And it converts all the way down. Alright, next I will need the foul yi. How much is this? It's 34 each. So 136. need exactly 4 of this build. Ooh, I need to make sure I'm lane balancing here. Oh, one benefit of picking up the upgrade is that these will actually move faster. Right, I forgot about that little detail. So I won't have to worry as much. Oh, am I out? Really? Well, alrighty then. Oh, I'm out of mechanical inserters too. Great. Death to all trees. Well, since I'm out of mechanical inserters, I think now is the time to restock. So let us restock. With 30 minutes to go, is there enough time to complete this build and build 2 other builds? 3 other builds. I think so. We need cladded cores, copper coating, and optical fiber. Of which one of these is just literally place 1 building. It is literally place 1 building. For an entire factory. The entire factory is just place 1 building and import 2 things. Factory done. The optical fiber, I guess, can be here. We need 1, 2, 3, 4. And this direct inserts. Clear skies of peace is actually being a little annoying. All this hitching. That goes into this step. This step needs Kevlar in. I do need this for the fuel. It needs Kevlar plus iron plus niobium. plus copper coating. And photophores. Did I count the photophores already? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Bots are bringing me a few things. Still. So that's the end. And then the cladded cores will be here. That needs 8 Falgi plantations. Fed by dude. This guy, this guy, and this guy, of which we need a couple fluids. Because we need the acetylene, hot air, and nitrobenzene that we're setting up now. Oh, we also need niobium complex. Oh boy, so I get to have that brought in. I think I set up overflow into complex. From there, I need the silver and the glass. Oh, and I need molten glass, right. There is even another. It would help if it was properly aligned. So, there's our generalities. Let us finish nitrobenzene. So we can go and take care of building those other factories. This is going to be the most complex of what remains. No, because I wasn't talking to you. Now stop. Well, at least she said thanks for the feedback. That was my echo device. She just activated based off of what I said and was like, I couldn't understand you. Could you say that again? Like, no, because I didn't call you. She's like, thanks for the feedback. All right, fine, whatever. Let's get this done. This, after the Bawagi, comes 19 of these. That's a few. There's 10 of them anyway. 19 of those. That's where a lot of the wood is going. We'll do this with this guy, followed by these two, followed by those 10, I think I'll import ammonia. Yeah, I think I'll import ammonia. Those 8, and then that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4. Really? Alright, fine. Oh, if I need that, then I don't need the other one, don't I? Whoops. Then I don't need the blood. Alright, well, whatever. R, zinc at nitro. Copper at nitro. Copper plates. Zinc plates. Down. Alright, we've got benzene. Good. Benzene's flowing. Fowagi or fowagiing. Shrooms be shroomin'. Alright, this is the main, biggest wood sink. How much? 9.5 and 1.5. Okay, so we need both of those in. And separate. Really? Copy everything. Thanks. That'll get used down here on these buildings. No, not these. These buildings. Be very careful with gas processing units since they stick up above their thingy. Their actual, like, model sticks up above the box, bounding box of the building. That'll be syngas from up here. Bring in the metals. Oh boy. Output, input, shift, ba 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 box canisters, empty canisters, power, okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. The rest of this is fairly trivial. Okay, this is coming in by train. At least it should be. This gets made up above. All right. It's nitro. Just add it to the supply station, put the train on, get the source priority done, and we are finished with nitro. And means we are effectively done with the doohickeys. With the optical fiber. We are effectively finished. It's just a matter of placing infrastructure at that point. Okay, cladded cores, as I said, is the next most complex. We'll build this station. It is already mostly complete. It's just run the logistics and we're good. It does need molten glass, and I don't really provide molten glass on the train network, so I'd have to make some as part of this. But again, that's mostly just a copy and paste. Oh, I'm out of doohickeys. I'm not going to name these stations, just going to put the requests in. So it's wood and silver. Hot air. Nitrobenzene. Niobium complex. Not defined. Alright, I'll have to address that eventually. Not, unfortunately, gonna happen now. Ah, yes, and I need acetylene. Acetylene. For the thingy way up top. Wait, what? Acetylene? Ah, yes, for the fuel for you. Either way. Needs glass. Guess I do need another solid input. And aramid. Oh my goodness, I just did not really get all of these stations, did I? Okay, that's starting to make some things. It does need the molten glass, though, and for that, I'm going to do some interesting copy pasting from here. This will be, shall we say, exceedingly overkill. But it works, and that's the only thing that matters, is that it works. What? Did I also... Oh, it goes... It went that way. Okay. I'll need wood. Okay. That is that. I should probably do some calculations here, but 12.5 molten glass is actually a fair bit. This processes a lot. Allet. It processes allet. Mythical, glorious allet. Majestic allet. I'm not going to take the time to complete the placement of all this infrastructure since we only have like 6 minutes left in today's stream. With only 6 minutes left, you get the idea at this point for these cladded cores. They're going to get loaded onto a train, and from here, I'm going to go to place the other train stations, but I do need to stock. Unfortunately, I need to restock, so I need to build this and build this. But for all intents and purposes, that is the optical fiber today. It's just we run out of time to finish logistics, as tends to happen, unfortunately. That does happen fairly frequently. If we did have the extra hour, I would be able to complete it, and we could likely see optical fiber on the train network, but we're not quite there today. We do at least have Ollie with us. We've been able to pet the kitty today. We've been able to pet the kitty behind my head. Yes, he's been comfy resting. He's a comfy kitty. He's a very comfy kitty. That's what I need from here, primarily. Just everything, I think. Whilst I'm here, clear skies. Clear skies of peace and harmony. What do I even do? Because this is just place the infrastructure, and then this is... Or just place the other stuff, and this is like mostly done too. Ugh, erg, arg. That is not actually what I need, because I need to unstack thing. That's supposed to be that. This is Kevlar in. So that can be you. And then what are the other 2 items? 2 solids? Don't remember if they're stacked or not. Photophores and... I know one of them is photophores, at least. What's the other thing? Hello? Plastic. Yes, they will exist together. And that is that build. I just need to place the belts and the trains and all the rail. Wrap up, finish the rail, etc., etc. But otherwise, that is complete. We are completed on the optical fiber. Oh boy, that is a nice. That is so very, 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 very nice. There's the molten in on there. It does need the fluid fuel, fluidic fuel. And I need the nitrobenzene, but that's not happening today. Or blah, nitrobenzene, the niobium complex. Yeah, because I did not overflow niobium complex onto trains as I should have. That is what I will do, is I will overflow complex onto trains. Let's go here. And spend our last few minutes just getting those 2 train stations finished. I'll go a couple of minutes over, but then we will end things off fairly shortly. Fairly shortly here. I'm glad that it seems that YouTube did not have issues today. I'm glad that everything has been smooth on Twitch over the course of the day today. Very, very glad to see all these things are working as intended this time around. Completely as intended this time around. Now, what will we do next time while we're here? Well, we are continuing our work towards getting into Circuit 2s. Since I now have the optical fiber, we still have to go through all of this mess. Really, it's like all this mess. I think that the silicon wafers are on the agenda. I know, vanadium. Vanadium into the hydrogen peroxide stuff. So yeah, that's probably going to be the point of the next stream here, is going to be vanadium on Thursday. Getting a plan in place for arthropod blood out of Ziffo and setting up the vanadium part of the build. From there, it's just a cluster, just lots of little things happening. Just a whole bunch of stuff. It becomes more a this is working on Circuit 2s rather than any specific ingredient of Circuit 2s, because the bulk of the effort will be finished. As weird as that seems, the bulk of the effort of the individual items will be done for any one thing. There's no one thing that's going to have such complexity as this part of it. Now that that has been placed and all of this is effectively finished, because there's a lot of shared stuff too among all this that goes into the other things. So it's really just a matter of throwing everything together. Really, I think the only other piece of this puzzle that's going to be a big build is PCB2s, as normal with this type of thing, but really this is actually more of an etching solution thing. Like, there's nothing here that's like absolutely massive and new, besides maybe the stuff for, yeah, the vanadium that'll be part of getting into antimony pulp 2 as part of these dope silicons. Like, the vanadium is our last hurdle, really, because everything else is trivial-ish. Trivial-ish. Just a matter of importing things, making a few things from nothing, copy-pasting builds that are from nothing, and bringing stuff in by trains. Generally speaking, a lot of this is just bring stuff in by train. So I'm just going to place the rails for these builds, for this build, and we are ending things off for the day. As I said, next time the focus will be getting into vanadium pentoxide so that we can get anthraquinone for hydrogen peroxide as part of getting into antimony pulp 2, as is required for the process of getting into circuit 2s or complex circuits, whatever you want to really refer to them as. I just call them circuit 2s. With that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat in his red panda Kigurumi, and joined by Ollie. If you've enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all the social engagement stuff wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching. You can support the channel through all the various means, etc., etc. I will be back on Thursday with more. I will see you all then.